unauthorized U.S. territory, but it's still not within the United States borders. But you don't have these same groups of people, Tea Partiers, calling for his birth certificate, like you do President Obama. We came from a president who, I guess, was less than stellar academically, but people trusted him. But you have a president who has shown, president of Harvard's Law Review. Harvard? You have a president here that has done everything that we as Americans seem to believe that we should do. He didn't come from the best family situation, but he made the best out of his situation. He went to school, got his degree. This is what we tell kids every day: stay in school. He did this. But yet you still have whole groups of people who don't want to recognize him even as an American, who are down. Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck, this is the actual quote. President, I don't know what it is, President Obama seems to hate the white culture or hate white people. This is from a man whose policies or viewpoints every day. You can log on to Fox News right now and probably see his divisive nature, his divisive plans for America. But yet, you're talking about, and he hasn't apologized for this. He hasn't formally apologized to President Obama for calling him essentially a racist. But no one says anything. Why is that? Once again, these are our rants. If you don't agree with anything, that's true. It's an opinion. Everybody has one.
Panama City. Wow.
Yeah. And you get a lot of Americans that don't know that fact. Some of these Tea Partiers that were so gung-ho for John McCain when he was running for the election, if you knew where he was born, but he's an American, don't get me wrong, he's an American citizen. I recognize that fact. I'm not like these crazies. I'm not challenging his citizenship to run for president. I'm saying that if you're going to challenge one, you should challenge all. But that's another thing leading into the immigration policy. Trust me, I believe that America should do something to secure its borders. But I don't think that I think it should be a comprehensive policy from the federal government. I don't think that each of the individual states should be allowed to come up with policies to deal with immigration. Because when you let each of the individual states, then you have 50 different immigration policies and 50 different policies that don't make sense, because these states, their policies are not going to coincide with each other, because you have different lawmakers that are making those policies that are not consulting each other when making those policies. So I say let the federal government deal with it. But in letting the federal government deal with it, you have to offer more of a suggestions than no. Another slam toward Republicans, but that's me.
Let's see what they're talking about on Fox News politics, brother.
Bringing in some of these external sources into the video, we like to have well-rounded opinions on issues.
Whoa. They got something up about the church, the Quran, brother. They didn't spell Quran, right?
Some people spell it with a K. Traditionally, it's spelled with a Q.
Okay, let's check.
So it's just different interpretation. But at least they're acknowledging it. Sometimes they don't even carry stories. So let's see what Fox is talking about with it. Because I hadn't read their story. I didn't hear the news on Fox. But even with Fox playing this, I want Fox to publicly condemn these actions, like they are condemning the building of a mosque. All these people that are going on in uproar about
taking personal stance on against the mob.
against them building a mosque. I want you to take a personal stance against these different pastors or this pastor in general that is taking these actions to burn a holy book. It may not be your religion. I'm not a Muslim, but I honor all faiths because I understand that people's emotions are deeply tied to their faith. And in you choosing to burn this book, you're basically spitting in their face. So I understand their frustration with the whole thing.
Look at this. It says burning the Quran is considered by Muslims among the most offensive actions taken against Islam. In 2005, 15 people died and scores were wounded in riots in Afghanistan, sparked by a story in Newsweek alleging that interrogators at the U.S. detention center in Guantanamo Bay placed copies of the Quran in washrooms and had flushed one down the toilet to get inmates to talk. Newsweek later retracted the story. 15 people died because of a story about one being flushed down the toilet. Hit riot. 15 people died.
Even if you're not Muslim, if you're a Christian, I remember a while back when Marilyn Manson and the different people were defaming the Bible, and a lot of people were up in roar about it. So you can kind of imagine if you're Jewish, people wanted to protest and burn the Torah. I know that groups of people will be protesting these actions of a few fringe people, because these are fringes also. As much as you say Islamic fundamentalists, these are Christian fundamentalists that are going to cause a retaliation against American troops and American citizens abroad, not because anything that these troops or these citizens did, but because these irresponsible individuals want to take
a small amount of irresponsible individuals. It's not even like half the religion is...
No, I'm not blaming every Christian. This is a Christian fundamentalist pastor that has been proposing doing this. But I'm not blaming all of Christianity for his actions.
Even though they received over 30,000 Qurans in the mail from supporters to help promote his event, which is ridiculous.
But I'm not blaming this entire Christian religion for the actions of a few. This is the argument that I make to people who try to blame Islam for the actions of a few fundamentalists. This fringe society is not representative of a religion that encompasses millions of individuals. You're going to blame all of these free-thinking individuals for the actions of this few people. That makes no sense to me.
Even though I'm not going to say you, but it has been done with African Americans on a number of occasions, but it's still...
Yeah, I don't agree with targeting entire groups of population for the fringe actions of anybody.
Right.
Whether you look at African Americans that may have committed crimes and you target all African Americans as being delinquents, all African Americans are lazy, you cannot do that. I wouldn't target any minority.
2 college graduates, bachelor's, master's, 2 college graduates. East St. Louis, Illinois.
Yeah, I'm from East St. Louis. You may look at my hat turned backwards. You may look at the fact that I might have on I'm a large individual, therefore I like room with my clothes. Skinny jeans are the devil, by the way.
Devil skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans are the devil, once again. But you can't really, that old saying of you can't judge a book by its cover is so true. You may not walk up to me on the street and realize that I have a bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in speech communication. I have a master's degree in public administration and policy analysis. You may not know that by just walking past me, but if you took the time to get to know me, I'm very passionate about a lot of things.
That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, that's kind of why we're doing this. You may look at my brother over here and not understand that this African American holds a bachelor's degree in business. You may see them out in the streets and not understand or realize that point.
That I have a small business that I'm currently running from this office we have here. I mean, I'm no Microsoft yet, but hey.
Working toward it, making an honest living. These are some of the people. This is what another thing grinds my gears. These are some of the people that this job bill that President Obama is trying to get through the Senate and the House of Representatives right now. A small jobs bill that will free up collateral to small businesses that are trying to hire people, but if a major political party is saying no to this and every other thing, not on principle that they don't agree with it, because these same groups of people have been saying that you need to do things to create jobs. But when you try to initiate action to do those,
whoa. We want you to change. You better not change nothing.
But the thing about it is, different candidates can't say this, but I can. This opposition to President Obama and to the Democratic Party is purely political. You have a lot of Republicans and independents and Tea Partiers that are saying no to these actions, not because they don't agree with the action, because some of the policies have been the exact same policies that different Republicans have put forward, or things that Republicans have asked Democrats to put into policies. But when they put them in there, these same politicians say no. John McCain has said no to certain policies that years back he's asked for. But because he's falling in line with the rank and file Republicans, they basically have turned their backs on everyday Americans.
Pretty much.
In your opposition to, I'll say, like even passing unemployment extensions, when you didn't want to pass those, for the 99% of unemployed Americans that are falling through the cracks, when you don't want to do anything to help them, it's not because you may not agree or sympathize with their position, but because you feel like that with these Americans being unemployed, they'll become disenfranchised or become dissatisfied with the Democratic Party and possibly vote them out in November. You're going to do everything in your power not to aid this president or this administration in getting anything passed that may help bring back this economy. I think that that's detrimental to every American. And you as an American should be ashamed of yourself. And I think that every American that's suffering from them saying no to certain policies should vote every last one of them out of office and exercise their fundamental right to change the administration.
Yeah.